Welcome back, race fans, to Deviant Racing for the GTD series as we get ready then for qualifying. The drivers are just out on their outlaps at the moment, and I will get to them very soon. But you can see with the championship situation, Shiesty leading with two wins, two Arcane's one win. 50 plays $41 is in third place, doing a good job of picking up podiums on 38. Then Binkit is in fourth on 35, with Roy Mustang Senior in fifth place, Mercury in sixth, the two Aston Martins for Team Jetstream in fifth and sixth positions together. Slug ahead of Jim for seventh and eighth, 21 plays 20, with Aussie on 14 points. Floody in on 11 in 10th place. I don't quite know how that works out, but there you have it. It's with the drop score, I think, we're looking at. Floody ahead of Siam, K2, who's had flashes of incredible pace already this season. And we have Kuros Kai and Saito and the bottom positions in the championship at the moment. Here they are then on the start of those flying laps. We'll join Floody in the all pink, still with the Hello Kitty for perfect pace racing in the Chevy. I think if memory serves, we have you down here. And a big greetings to everybody who's joining us, especially those who are able to join us live today. Do say hello if you're with us live. I'll try and give you a shout out and tell me who you're here to support. Marina, one of two brand new tracks here for Gran Turismo 7 and for our Deviant Racing Season 5.1. And we head down in towards the chicane then at the end of a very, very long straightaway. Really nice positioning there into the corner. Exactly what we want from Floody, which is one wheel each side of the sausages, the raised orange curbs on the apexes. And we'll see how much our GTD drivers are going to abuse track limits today, and if they were watching any of the GTD pros at it, or they were training with them, of course. Try and get their lines perfect in these GT4 machines. Double apex, turn 9 pretty much here, and we will run. I think Floody is playing this one quite safe at the moment in terms of his track limit abuse. He's very much taking an F1 driver's approach to the corners. The GT3, GT7 track limits allowing drivers to really push. Now the second of the left-handers is Latifi corner, and you can see him straightening up there, trying to get the power down as early as possible, make a V shape out of that out of that corner, and we go into the final of the 16 corners here at the circuit, running out onto the exit curb but not past the exit curb, and putting in a 205.897, astonishing a 205.579. Shiesty much faster on a 204.6, and we've got Roy Mustang Senior 205.0 ahead then, and going straight back into the pit lane. Here is Kuros Kai, fresh out of the safety car. No, not straight out of the safety car. Kuros Kai in P7. Aussie goes into third. RMRS, I don't know him at all, and he's rocking the KLM livery for his Team Jetstream. K2 goes second, 204.999 for him from out of Brazil. And he goes into the 204s alongside Shiesty, who have been fabulous additions in terms of the pace in qualifying at least. Saito, beautiful resonance coming off the exhaust there, but he's only 10th at the moment at 208. Here comes Slug, goes across the line into 7th place, straight into that 7th place out there. Kuros Kai's 10th, Saito 11th. Saito was the safety car driver earlier on. Chaotica in the UK police coloured safety car this time out. Let's see how Shiesty does it. In fact, it looks like he's rocking a Rexy inspired AO Racing, one of my top teams in IMSA here, rocking a Rexy livery, and we'll enjoy looking at that one here at the Marina race of the season. Shiesty P1, 204.621, defending that provisional pole position. The gap not quite as big as it was in GTD Pro. I'm not going to give any spoilers out, but these Bijou little Porsche, and following one of his rivals in front. I think that's Team Crude Awakening. It's certainly had prominent Shell sponsorship. Well, no, sorry, that is the Hello Kitty. I think that might be Floody out there in P8. Any faster time from him? Yes, he set a faster time, but Shiesty faster even still in his machinery and his bright green. He goes P1 at 204.4. Binkett steals second off K2 Mars, who's got an opposite lock through Latifi, although I think with the Brazilian internet lag to the USA host, I think we've got a slight problem on the pace there. He's absolutely abusing those track limits. I don't imagine he's that far off, but it's 203.9 now from K2 Mars. Amazing start from him. Aussie's in third place with the toothy grin, the Canadian driver there. At the moment, we'll have a really good look at everybody's liveries, of course, during the safety car period. But K2 ahead of Shiesty by half a second. Looked like K2 has absolutely maximised those track limits, or lack of. And track limits in most parts of the circuit is effectively Armco barrier. So you can go out very wide. Of course, the circuit configured not just for Formula 1 and GT racing, but also for motorbikes, for the hobby track day enthusiasts, club racing, so that the walls where they are close are only necessary, and then you've got Tech Pro soft barriers, you've got large runoffs, and our drivers are exposing those track limits to their absolute maximum. Shiesty goes still not quite as wide as we've seen some drivers go. He'll be wondering where K2 found half a second, but I think if we watch back, we'll see it's down to running wide out of corners and possibly even stealing apexes as well. Certainly Shiesty's going to be struggling. Zen says, what track limits? Exactly. Exactly, Zen. It looks like there's several drivers we've got here who are sticking to, like Floody first and then Shiesty here, who are pretty much sticking to the white lines. Floody just venturing over slightly there, caught in the rear view at 205.3. We need to change tyres, I think, on the car for Shiesty. Binkett goes third, 204.6 in his car. Not quite sure what this camera angle is really showing here, but he goes out very wide. Going to change tyres, I think. Eamon is 54, and he's not even going to bother because you can't get another lap in. Aussie was trying to knock the knock the braking marker board out there, I think. Let's ride with Aussie through the first sector at least, see if we can pick up the pace relative to Binkett. 0.8 of a second from the leader, just under 0.1 of a second for Aussie here. And he's got the Rexy inspired teeth on the front of the car as well. That's slightly slower on very used soft tyres for him. We've got fairly new soft tyres for Roy Mustang Senior. That cannot be a quicker way to go around the outside. We need to go even wider or narrower on turn 5 there. Hi to VR Hot Laps, who's watching again. Great to have you with us. VR Hot Laps, also a content creator like myself, so to do have a check out of his laps, where I focus on quality, on quantity. I think VR focuses on quality, so we will definitely be seeing more of his videos. Through the chicane we go for Dad and Son Senior. That is Roy Mustang, as everybody else knows him, but I have to call the race as I'm looking at. So it's the dad of Dad and Son, the Dutch pairing, who feature in different races here at Deviant Racing League and elsewhere. Good to see some love for the teams from K Morris here. Also, hi to you and anybody else watching live with us. Do drop a message in the chat if you want to. Team Sugar Rush themselves donated $4 in total in the first broadcast, so it was in part sponsored by them. So if you want your team to be well represented, or you are happy or you're not happy being outdone by Sugar Rush, that's the situation. Izzy Isaac Velez cheering on Jetstream as well. Aussie crosses the line 0.8 of a second away. So does Dadson, just 0.3 of a second, staying in 5th place. RM, I don't know quite how to how to pronounce this new driver's gamer tag. Aremers. Astonishing goes third though. That's a hot lap from Astonishing here in the tall Peugeot. But RM in P8, can he get any better here? As he goes very wide on the exit. There's very little margin for error out to those barriers. No faster from him, unfortunately. Kai is still on the racetrack. Sounded like the tyres were complaining there on the way into the final corner of this final lap. There goes Sugar Rush again from Zen. Big thank you to him. So Sugar Rush now at a $9 total for the two broadcasted tips. So these guys are in the money for sure. Jim's saying it's not the same without Jim. Jim, if no one else is going to show you the love, you better show yourself some self-love. Hey, that's good to see. So RM, I believe, is Johnny Snakes. That doesn't help me very much, Izzy, but Johnny Snakes is a great name, but not someone I'm familiar with, unfortunately. So I'll have to call him RM here on the circuit, as the result of qualifying here is that K2 shocks Shiesty into pole position 203.974 by half a second. The big question though, can K2 convert his pole to a good race result with the strategy and a lack of contact and a lack of spinning? We'll see. Shiesty in second then, leading this championship with a firm grip. Astonishing in third place ahead of his teammate Binkett in fourth. We've got Aussie in fifth. Roy Mustang Senior, dad and son, in P6. Slug is seventh. P8 is RM. It doesn't help there that he's not Johnny Snakes in his gamer tag either, in his online ID. And then in ninth is Floody. Kai is 10th. Saito is 11th, having spent a lot of time in the pit lane in the previous practice session, presumably before the race, driving the first safety car. The M4 safety car makes his return in the UK police colours of Chaotica. So you never know quite what we're going to be talking about here on the stream. So yeah, do keep everything alive for us. Make sure that you take part today, and we've got a 2-minute breakdown of the 2-minute warning. Safety car lap 18 is very late for these GT4s, deep into the second half of the race. So the drivers will be consulting their notes, chatting with their team boss as to what they think the right strategy is going to be here. Will it be a hard tyre long run, because the lack of fuel usage in the GTDs and the GT4 cars relative to the GT3s does open up the one stop. You can see on the screen, required tyre types are racing hards and racing mediums. The softs are available to the drivers if they wish to take a 2-stop, but they must take one of each of those two. So can they do 18 laps on the hard tyres? Crucially, can they do 18 laps on a full tank of fuel with a minimum of saving? We shall see as we get into it. Well, they need to just do 16 laps, 16 complete laps, in order to take the pit stop prior to the pace car coming out. There you can just see on the trackside camera, you can just see that dirt track that forms part of a rallycross track in the center of the race. I'll try and stay with it here. We'll be coming up for 2 more races in the season. I still haven't had an answer why we're a 6-race instead of a 7-race season this time out. But I only just realised that. But we go to Watkins Glen next, and then Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, the other new track, for the race finale in 4 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time. This race, if called by me, will be called late via replay. Unfortunately, I have a clash for the next 2 rounds. So just bear that in mind. As the race is now going to get underway for us, and we will get going then for the final race of today's broadcasts. Let me know your predictions and who you think is going to take the win overall today. Let's get everything organised. Why do I have to do this still every single time I go to commentate a race? We really need to sort this out, Polyphony. We lost a few teeth, Rexy, there. In the livery on the inside of Shiesty, but it's the pole position man is K2 Mars for round 4 of the championship, and it's drop the clutch and go, go, go. K2 in the Chevy getting away really well with the all-pink front, and then he steers across to the inside. There you can see just a little bit of lag on the different internet connections. The KLM car of the Aston Martin Jetstream car getting a little bit in a difficult position. Then further back, that's Dad and Son getting the nod ahead of RMLS, who manages to navigate through that start very nicely indeed. Floody in 9th, Saito in 10th, Kuroskine in 11th, Chaotica in our safety car as we barrel down into the hairpin. And sweeping around the outside, tries to secure Astonishing. Shiesty is going to have to be incredibly careful passing K2 here if he gets into a position. Look at the amount of lag that the car is running. That's Aussie with the full set of teeth on the front of his car. And down we go in towards that important chicane at the start of the lap. And drivers dive bombing our championship leader here, hand over fist. And I was going to replay the start, but I better just get a replay of all of that action saved in the buffer. But it's Floody in 8th. Armour MRS has gone into 7th place now, and it is all being fought over out at the front. Shiesty just escaping with his life there, but just behind Astonishing and Aussie down the inside in the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote livery here today. Beep beep, it says on the side. I might have mentioned this before, but Mrs. Webbo uses the meep meep as a phone notification, which drives the rest of the family around the bend. Here you can see the Mayana Sugar Rush Peugeot livery, which is why they're so flush and beating out all other teams in their generosity of the tips being delivered in Super Chat today. As we run through, then we've got Kuros Kite in the Shell-sponsored VW Scirocco as Floody. I'll be hoping for much more out of the race, I think, than a P9, but there's plenty of time still to run. A gold and blue livery today for our Sylvia, and there is Dad and Son, who unfortunately has had the rougher of the runs through our race start. Let's go back to that issue that we saw down into the... Oh, I just hit the wrong button. My apologies, folks. We've just lost that replay, unfortunately, of the first run down into the corner. This is the Enzo Motorsports. They're just pretty much going off plan now, Enzo Motorsports, in terms of their livery. They were running famous Ferrari liveries, but now it's suddenly gone into Looney Tunes. So that's great. Ramen and Looney Tunes. I don't know what's happened there. Venom on the helmet as well of Aussie's car. Here comes Shiesty, braving a potential move down the inside. He is looking very nervously at what K2 is doing on track. There he goes through, and K2 has had a little bit of a moment running off. We'll see if he was pushed into that, but it did just look like he was a little bit long and deep into the corner. Let's have a look as he runs down in towards turn 6. Obviously the door is wide open. I think he was just really late on the power. Then he puts the power down slightly off track in the gully with the car fully alongside him. And then it's about trying to survive now as the Enzo car comes flying by. He's also got a Sugar Rush down the inside as well. Unsafe rejoin, says Larry. Well, it's one of your favourite catchphrases there. So I don't think we'll be taking that too seriously. But I don't know if that was. I think that was that was a perfectly legitimate attempt. But unfortunately, just one wheel getting caught in the rain gully on the little rain guard on the off track, and I think that spun the car out slightly. Binkett's in 6th in the Peugeot here for Team Sugar Rush. And we've got K2 then down to 5th position, and not for the first time this season have we seen K2 blast the field on pole position, but struggle when it came to defending, not least down to the problem he's got with his run. Liveries are Ferrari liveries in the world of racing. This is not a... Come on, man. Come on, K. Morris. Ramen for a Ferrari livery in the world of racing. Is that for real? But Looney Tunes I've not seen before, so that might be just betraying my ignorance. But the teeth were started by AO Racing in the Porsche like the GT4 you can see in front leading the race of Shiesty. But I can't imagine that we've had a ramen sponsor of Ferrari. But hey, look, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Here we go then, down towards turn 6. The Ferrari will be having a look down the inside, but the very tall Who Killed Roy says Larry. He did have some trouble on that first lap, but he's recovered to 8th, which is some going. There is K2 in the Hello Kitty Perfect Pace racing car with the new Marina Sugar Rush sponsored bin kit in P6. RM, certainly a newcomer for my commentary tenure here, is running in P7 in the KLM livery with the orange wheels. Then we've got the KLM livery Roy Mustang, dad of the dad and son pairing, with the Dutch airline sponsorship for the Jetstream team. That is KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines. And behind them, the only Crude Awakening car we have seen today in the VW Scirocco, Kuros Kai in 9th. Floody is in 10th place, and Kuros Kai giving a position there pretty much to Floody, and Floody will take that all day long. And the Liquid Death gold and blue, very, very pretty car. Great to see the Silvia on the racetrack, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly competitive machine, unfortunately. But it is at least not dented yet for Saito, and Chaotica waits in the pit lane. But the leader is by 2.5 seconds. This mini Rexy of Shiesty, and we've got Astonishing in P2. K-Morris saying, I'm not sure about those Group 4s, but the Group 3s were. Ramen did sponsor a Ferrari racing team. Is that absolutely true? Anyway, great overtake from Aussie. That will certainly please K-Morris watching there as he runs through. Let's have another look at this one. Running down in towards the hairpin here. Very early overtake as he heads down the inside line. Well ahead, owning the corner there at the apex. We'll see if he can hang on here as they head down into turn 6. He absolutely can. The 55 there of Aussie moving forward then into P2 with 52.5 minutes on the clock. Venom on the helmet, and he's clearly driving like a man possessed. We've got Astonishing in P3, Slug in the second of the Ferraris, this time the 458 GT4, and he puts in a fastest Sector 2 so far, which I guess will probably make it a Sector 2 and a Sector 1 combined. K2 is still trying at least to hang on here. We need to not get too close to K2 Binkit because of the lag on the car. Having to be incredibly careful. I do like the fact that Sugar Rush and Perfect Pace have got custom logos for their team racing names on their cars this season, which is no mean feat. There goes Dad and Son by past RM. I don't know if Dad and Son has brought in his compatriot from the Netherlands. You can see his KLM sponsored Jetstream car has got a little bit scratched up so far today. Red, white and blue, of course, for the Netherlands as well as for Spain. It depends on your orientation of the flag colours. Rather popular in world flags, red, white and blue, isn't it? And then Floody coming through as well in P9. So Kuros Kai in 10th. Our Saito out in 11th place. And we're waiting all the way to lap 18 to see Chaotica come out of the pit lane. But we have Shiesty leading by 2.7 seconds. Didn't have to work too hard for it. I'm going to give my approval to Shiesty with the white Lewis Hamilton helmet and suit back from Lewis's heyday there. Beautiful graphics, absolutely stunning from GT7 here, and a rare use of the Webbo Comms Pennzoil style sticker on the windshield banner, and a Star Wars Webbo Comms on the rear window as well. Big thanks to Aussie if he's the designer of this one. We've got Astonishing in P3 and Slug in that 4th place then as the drivers come through. The long snaking left-hander. Slug will lose points from my perspective using the Michael Schumacher suit livery and design, but it does fit with his team, so I will let it slide. But I'm not a fan of the cancer stick name coming through, and I'm not a fan of Michael Schumacher either. So I'm afraid we're losing a little. Sheisty's gone! Sheisty's gone from the race! That's insane! Our leader, Scheisty, has gone. He can afford one drop score as far as my latest information is concerned. But that's our leader, losing the potential race win out there in front. And Aussie taking the lead thanks to the misfortune of Scheisty, who is out of the race now and has left the server, unfortunately. That's a mechanical failure for Scheisty, a huge problem, and we'll be missing Rexy on the grid as well. Slug coming through then. He's now in provisionally third position. The front three all on those hard tyres as well, trying to get through, I imagine, to that lap 18. So a big deal, big deal. K Morris did like that Enzo Motorsport move earlier on. Just checking in on the chat there. But yeah, Jim on an unrepeatable comment there. That was a big deal for Scheisty, unfortunately. It looks like Slug is shaping for a move here. Is he waiting for the opportunity? I think he is waiting for the long run through the corner. It really doesn't look like these two cars belong in the same category, does it? Having the Ferrari and the Peugeot competing, but it was slow off the corner there for Slug. The Ferrari 458 and GT3 machine equipment and configuration was always slow on its top speed, so it could have been that Slug should have perhaps taken that chance on the way through. So astonishing is the benefactor today, says Jim, of no Arcane and Scheisty. Yes, but I don't want to take anything away from Aussie and Astonishing there. They are doing the work, and other people could be in front of them if they weren't putting in the work. So bad luck happens to everybody, unfortunately, and you just hope that through the course of a season or a racing year that things even out in terms of the luck. Here comes K2 making a move down the inside. That was marginal. It was tight. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure, Jim. No, I get it. I just don't want to read someone's comment and then have it taken out of context. So I definitely appreciate what you're saying, Jim. Overall standings should take a big jump. Yeah, definitely. For Astonishing and for, well, Aussie as well. But Aussie potentially with the lead of the race. But there's a lot of water to flow under the bridge at the moment. The drivers in a conservation hard tyre, full fuel sort of section of the race right now. I do like the fact that they've gone for the Sky Team airline group code share on there accurately as well for the KLM. KLM share an ownership structure with Air France. So normally you would see Air France on there somewhere, but both drivers are Dutch, so I'm sure they would rather forget about Air France at this stage. But at Dadenson in 6th, RM in 7th, and two Aston Jetstream drivers putting in a really good run. Floody in 8th. I imagine, hoping for more later on in the race. Kuros Kai also on the hard tyres. Looks like it has just been one strategy today. Chaotic has chosen the soft tyres, but he's in the safety car. Aussie leads us then in the slightly confusing Enzo Motorsport livery. Maybe this has got a steep Ferrari GT racing history, putting Looney Tunes stickers. It looks like Roadrunner is actually chasing Wile E. Coyote there on the side of the car as well. So that's an interesting one. I don't remember that particular episode. Anyway, Aussie leads by 1.5 seconds from Astonishing in the Peugeot. Ferrari versus Peugeot at the front of our race. How long will that continue, I wonder? And then it's Ferrari versus Peugeot for 3rd and 4th. But really, Binkit has much more in the way of attention of K2 directly behind. Right now, just less than a second between the two of them. And the two Astons following away behind. So perfect pace, sticking with their Hello Kitty livery. I don't know if that is for somebody's daughter. I need some team history, some livery design history lesson or inside info from our great community here at Deviant Racing. You can find a way to join Deviant Racing with many regular fixtures through the week to race. There's different types of race cars, not just the top 2 GT racing leagues, but there's plenty of other series going. So if you do want to take part and get yourself ready for season 5.2, again, follow the link in the description today, and get yourself into Deviant Racing. We'd love to have you. Floody in P8, Kurosakai in 9th, and Saito in that beautiful gold and blue Nissan Silvia in the Nismo livery. You have to help me out with that flag over the rear window. The rear driver window there. I don't know that one. So I don't know if that's a state flag for Saito. But that's definitely a new one on me anyway. So it looks like we're going to have a nice tight battle at the tail of the field at this stage, just on the hard tyres, trying to get through to, as I said before, that lap 18 for the safety car, end of lap 16 on the fuel. Now, Saito is absolutely perfect if he can carry on with this amount of fuel usage, because he will reach the end of his tank at the end of lap 16, get into the pit lane, fuel up and tyre up for the finish, run in 6th gear. Look at that little mirror check by the avatar of the game character there for Kurosakai. It doesn't actually work. We've tested it in VR. We've tested whether the kart driver can looks in the same direction as the driver. It doesn't work. We wish it did. Even more so the hand gestures. But it does look great actually when he just looks in his mirror there on the way into a hairpin. Very, very immersive. Very clever for these two. 43 minutes on the clock. Aussie Astonishing Slug, your top 3. After problems befell our front 2 in qualifying, K2 was the fastest in qualifying by nearly half a second, but has struggled to stitch together a good first race stint here, and that is a bit of a story of the season so far, unfortunately. Shiesty dropping completely out of the race due to a mechanical failure on his part. And unfortunately, once you've gone in GT7, you've gone and you can't return. In F1, if you disconnect, the AI takes over and you continue circulating at whatever AI level has been selected, and then you can get yourself back into the race once you've re-established connection. Same in ACC, you can get back in. The car just goes to the pit lane and you can get back in. Obviously, you lose even more time in that situation. But it's something that GT7 have never actually put in place. I still think that GT7 was never really designed for long-form racing. They never really thought that someone would want to get back into a race if it went wrong, that they'd be racing for an hour, 2, 3, 4 or more, or even, you know, sharing stints and everything. It's very interesting. Why would Kaz make that a feature when they can just make imaginary cars unattainable, says Larry. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, give us more and more French cars, which I don't know that even the French drivers have asked for. I have a particular hatred of French cars, as you all know, loyal members of the channel and viewers. Talking about channel membership, you can join like Larry and Floody, and you can become a member of the channel and support my work on the... The French are very good at some things, Larry. I'm not going to be quite so harsh as that. The French gave us Comacopa after all. You can't possibly complain about that one. And champagne and croissant and yeah, lots and lots of good things about France. There you go. I was naming 3 while you said it. Sebastian. Let me think. Anyway, you're distracting me now, Larry, and that's terrible thing to do. But yeah, there are plenty of good things about France for sure. Not least the beautiful language. Here is Slug in P3. I'm afraid I'm not enjoying advertising the current sponsor. And meanwhile, this is we won't be able to watch too much of K2 on board because it's almost unwatchable for those with that get motion sickness. But K2 going wide again through that hairpin as they go through turn 5, and then we've got Dadenson on his way. Here you can see what a difficult challenge it is to pass a driver with internet difficulties. Here we go down the inside. K2 appears to have been given that. About 3 car widths have been given by Dadenson. You can't put the squeeze on because you just don't know where the car's going, and that was perfectly and smoothly through from Roy Mustang, dad of the Dadenson pairing, even if his Aston is very seriously devalued by the scratches and dents there on the rear quarter, but a really good clean overtake from a driver who is struggling there with the internet connectivity. So basically, when we look at this for K2, every other driver looks like he looks to him. It's like putting on someone's glasses or spectacles or eyeglasses, that I think Americans call them. That everything looks as bad to someone borrowing a pair of glasses as it does to the person who operates without them. So yeah, lap 18, it's a long drag to the safety car today, unfortunately. You can see the car almost looks like it's crabbing through the corners as well for K2. It's actually quite an unpleasant watch, although I try not to focus too much. K2 is the spirit fingers of internet connections. You're going to need to explain that one for me, Larry. It's a reference I haven't been able to pick up. Sorry about that. But Roy Mustang then on the comeback. He's now in 5th place. Everyone's on the same strategy, it seems, today. Unfortunately, it's not ideal. But we have a randomizer that chooses a safety car lap. I guess technically it's SimRacing. It's a pace car, really, but we call it the safety car for convenience, as there's very few genuine safety issues when it comes to SimRacing. The odd broken finger or wrist. Dadenson, was that a flash of the lights from Dadenson on his way out of the corner? That would be unusual for him, but the Aston with good top speed as he goes down and slams on the brakes. Looks like the Peugeot hot and well into the corner, catching the apex as they run through. I'm being accused of being an uncultured swine. It's a cheerleading classic called Bring It On. Okay, I'll trust you on that, Larry, but do be careful as an Aussie calling someone else uncultured. That's all I'll say. Dadenson P5. Love you, Larry. You know that. Into turn 9 we go. Great that Larry still tunes in, actually, as well. Haven't heard from Gus on the liveries yet, so hopefully you can bring him in. I'm not quite sure what Jim's laughing at exactly. Whether it was Larry attacking me or me responding, but Jim's enjoying himself anyway. So the cars go under that famous hotel. When they race IRL, as they say, on the track in F1, that hotel changes colour. GT7 elected not to code that in. Blue Aston looks good, says Ghost Stroke. It really does. It's almost a stock colour, this blue. I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, the blue does look really sweet, actually, in the KLM colours. I don't know if KLM would rather sponsor a Dutch car. I think the Spiker is the one that comes to mind, but not in GT7, unfortunately. But a lot of love for this Mayana livery. Team Sugar Rush have taken a slightly different view. Don't forget, if you are representing a team today, Sugar Rush have contributed $9 of tips to today's broadcasts. So I don't know, maybe you guys are all just happy being beaten by Sugar Rush, I guess, as they come through. Ghost Stroke, another one of my members as well, so big thanks to him. Aussie leads Astonishing and Slug at the moment. It's a long way, isn't it, for the safety car in lap 18 for the action to resume and to condense the field down. Binkit in 4th, looking good out there in the Peugeot. K2 looking wayward, but stringing together some nice laps. He did get that right tyre into a nasty groove on the exit on the outside of the circuit there. Binkit with RM in a big slide coming through turn 6 and 7 chicane. What I'm hoping is that Charlie and Gus, I don't know if Gus and Charlie are old enough to get the 6-7 thing. Maybe they're not. Maybe they will beat it. Here comes RMRS down the inside into turn official 9, because the curve on the exit on the main straightaway there, second of the straights, I should say. Good fight back from K2, but it wasn't to be. K2 struggling with the tyres in the Chevy. I think struggling most of all, I think, through the faster right-handers that we go through. And we'll see how that car. It's really hard to read the body language, so to speak, or the positioning of the car. We'll see if RMRS is pushing that track limit. He absolutely is. Thanks GT7 for this. As Ghost Truck says, what is Vegemite? Yeah, it's best avoided. I don't know if you've heard of Marmite as well. Horrible, awful thing that should never be ingested or smelt by anyone or anything. Daddenson into the pits. That's early, and that is a surprise to me. A new set of tyres going on, 33 minutes on the clock. We are well ahead of the safety car, but maybe he feels like now he can get a full tank of fuel to the finish and a set of mediums potentially, treating them gently on this one and pick up places as they run through. So, Kuros Kai in 8th. One of the better foods. I don't know why, Larry, you're not talking about Milo. That's definitely something I can approve of in terms of taste and culture in Australia. They've also got sharks and snakes and spiders and stuff, so that's also cool, right? And Bathurst. So there you go. Anyway, Aussie P1, 2.7 seconds now, and going faster and faster as the fuel burns off and his hard tyres are A-OK. He's not far from running out of fuel here. Sylvia wins best lunking, says Ghost Stroke. Hang on though to lap 18, where we will talk. Larry says Bathurst is the cultural hub of Australia. I was just watching something the other day, and the guy was actually from Bathurst and talking about what a tiny backward bush town it actually is in the Blue Mountain region of New South Wales. I don't care. I'd still love to go there one day. I've heard the race is backbreaking. Astonishing goes through that final corner, just about. He'll send a postcard from the apex and the main track of the final corner for Astonishing, but he can still see that he's finally picked up a penalty for that run. Astonishing has finally found track limits, I think, through there, and Slug in 3rd position. We've got Binkett in 4th and RM in 5th place, thanks to the pit stop. Slightly out of schedule and out of predicted area. He's got the Pig Porsche helmet on, has RMRS. That's a throwback livery. Legend Motor Racing should be paying attention, because we definitely need a pink Porsche Pig livery. And hopefully, can I put in a request for the Rexone Mazda racing livery, the orange and green with the white dash line separator. Flood is in 7th, having a real no man's race at the moment. No man's zone here. Jim says done. Awesome. Thank you. I also got a request from Binkett for the Sugar Rush livery for the next race as well. I put out one suggestion, but I can come up with more if you want. Kuros Kai in 9th and Saito in 10th there. Just using the indicators, just giving himself something interesting to do. But Saito may be using VR. He is using VR, so he doesn't know his indicators are on his hazard lights as he comes through. Get right up close. You can see he's got a slightly dirty windshield there. Auto drive, says Jim. You think that means he's on auto drive, do you? Not necessarily. Sometimes you can just hit the button by accident, but yeah, maybe. I'll take that absolutely as a possibility. In towards the pit lane, as we call it, pit road as you guys call it. It goes Aussie from the lead of the race, out of fuel now. 14 laps deep. We're into the second half of the race. Should be able to get the race home, I should say, on the fuel left. And as usual, the Peugeot dealing with that with the fuel load much easier. Astonishing, using more petroleum than his teammate Slug even. The Aston, a thirsty beast, as you would expect. The Astons and the Ferraris and maybe even the Chevys, but Floodie's done a great job there with the fuel use as well. Wants to make sure he's comfortable on the mediums at the end of the race. Doesn't want to go too deep, too early onto them. Obviously, Dad and son went early. Roy Mustang here onto those tyres. So I like the little flashes of orange. I don't know if that is... Well, orange is obviously the racing and national sporting colour of the Netherlands, but I've never seen orange on a KLM aircraft. Hey, not sure. But anyway, looks good. Always blue and orange always look good together. Kiroskai for the Shell sponsored. They haven't been able to pick up a local sponsor here for Crude Awakening, but they have spilt quite a bit of oil on the roof, and it's dripped down on the back of the car as well. 3 members of Team Crude Awakening currently dealing with an oil slick, unfortunately, an environmental disaster. Saito makes his pit stop as well. Astonishing leads us and is in a great position in the championship at the moment to catch Shiesty. The championship was not looking very healthy for anybody other than Shiesty at this point. I do like the integration of the camels on this livery, but I have to say, if you were going to compete between the two Sugar Rush Mayana sponsors, I do think that the GT3s just edge it. But you guys can make up your own determinations. It's astonishing. And Binkit, like I say, we will go full 360 all the way around on the cars during the safety car lap. The track has really spread out the GT4 races no end, as K2 Mars with his Ordemi Progresso Brazilian flag on his mandatory green sections of the car. I absolutely love the effect there that he's gone for, the convenience of being able to use the green into his nationality. Good to see. Oh, I don't know if he just caught the barrier there slightly. Whether he'll make it round another lap as well. Aussie's in 4th after his pit stop. Astonishing now pits. So the pit stops are cycling through, and Aussie will now try to use as little fuel as possible on these laps prior to the pit stop without losing track position. And his mediums will warm up a tiny bit quicker than anybody who's just fitted new ones. There, one of the most active portions of the braking marker boards there for a moment as Aussie runs over. I think that was the 100 meter board. Here we have it. I'm not quite sure why we have the teeth on this livery, but we have the teeth on the livery nonetheless. Maybe it is just that Aussie really likes Roadrunner. But it's helping him at the moment anyway to leading this race. So the 55 leads the amount of cars who have pitted anyway in the 458 Italia. We've got Binkit in the outright lead of the race right now. This is the Mayana Milk. I'm wondering if the GT3s was kind of the Mayana Dark version of the livery. But this now, the final viable pit stop lap. So drivers will be pitting now if they haven't done before, so that they can all filter through for the safety car period. Safety car is waiting, but we'll wait another lap yet after the leader comes in here. I would fully expect to come through. Perhaps we'll stay with him as he comes under the tunnel, goes through into the Latifi corner. This left-hander with the wall on the outside. And heading then in towards the pit lane. There's the pit entry sign, there's the line, and then we have to stay within track limits and heads into the pit lane. It's a much lighter, brighter lit on his way in. It's a bit of a shame that the the team are all in brown. Not the best of colours, but here you go. Into the pits, new set of tyres and fueling. Probably near to a full tank here to finish out the race. Lap 17 officially beginning. I imagine that was Aussie, the sound of Aussie going by. It was. venomous Aussie today as he runs through. A whole bunch of stickers on this car that I don't understand, but we will get into it later on. And this is kind of the dead portion of the race, the lap that the drivers don't need to push on the way through. And in fact, pushing now is actually going to not help your race. There on the left is the rallycross circuit that I'm assuming at some stage they will in fact reveal on GT7. Astonishing. P2, Dad and Son in P3, and Slug behind them in P4. Everybody has put the fuel on. You can see Dad and Son in the Aston has put quite a bit less fuel on than the other cars around him. He's picked up quite a few dead flies as well out in the desert. Most of the drivers have got a lot more fuel on than Dad and Son. Now, watch for him later in the race. I wonder if he's underfueled this one. The Aston is not known for its fuel economy. Binkit in 5th, RM in 6th place has a lot more fuel on board than Dad and Son. I do hope Roy Mustang has calculated this one well enough. K2 then in 7th, Floody in 8th. We've got Saito, who has just gone for a quick run on the soft tyres, but will have to pit once the cars go green. The pit lane is currently closed for Saito. He'll know that better than anybody as the safety car driver for the GTD Pros. And at the back of the grid at the moment, we've got Kuros Kai with a 3-second penalty. Why? Well, he crossed one of the pit lane lines, either the one on the entry or the one on the exit, and did not keep control of his vehicle sufficiently. Here comes Chaotica then to come out of the pit lane very early, in fact, for him. Dayglow yellow and bright blue with the lights flashing here, and you can see all the information. But if you look up a UK police car, this is what they look like with the kind of checker pattern on down the side of the car as well. But he's completely dead stopped here with the lights on as the cars are catching him. He'll now pick up the pace slightly because he can see the drivers catching, and you can just see the BMW colours there just off the headlights as well. Very nice indeed. Here is the new Enzo Motorsport livery. Good to see some Ray-Ban Orland sponsorship as well, but I don't know what Luby Zappi Dalash refers to. They've got some Exxon fuel, which I don't think Ferraris generally run on Exxon very well, and Calibra again. Very Polish, this one, so maybe it is just a Polish Ferrari team that I'm unfamiliar with, unfortunately. But a yellow and blue roof, and a big thank you for the Webbo stickers on the car as well. So let me know if Gus is a fan, because we've got some cartoon characters on there as well. It's pretty awesome. Here is Dad and Son in the very tastefully designed KLM Team Jetstream colours. I love the theme this season. We keep getting some great team themes going. I'd love to see Jetstream return as well, but in future there's so much scope for more and more liveries here. But a really nice and tasteful blue, very in keeping with Aston Martin. This is the Mayana, highly detailed. Love the design work that's gone into this. I'm not sure what the red section is there. Maybe it's just the brand name stamp on the car. But this is Sugar Rush Racing, and just see under the window there. Again, thank you for the Webbo sticker. But Sugar Rush having their own team logo on there as well, and the driver names. So looking really nice and very in keeping with the local kind of culture as well. Very good stuff. We've seen this quite a bit before. It hasn't really changed. We haven't taken the brand name off, much to my repeated requests. And back to the Peugeot then of the Mayana. This is Sugar Rush Racing, if you're in doubt. We also have this is with the orange wheel rims. Again, really does help the car to sing. It's a shame we've got to have the green sections on the car, because that's a bit of a clash, but those are the official stickers, have to be there, so no complaints at all. Then we've got the Hello Kitty for Team Perfect Pace. Again, we've seen this one before, and those little flashes of the Brazilian flag on the car for K2. I don't think he'll be able to see much out of that rear window. Giant Hello Kitty on the back. Floody there with the pink wheels. Is there a difference in wheel rim? There is. K2 with the black wheel rim and Floody in the pink. And then we've got Saito back in off the soft tyres. Not really going to lose a lot here, but we'll have a look at his livery. Gloss gold and a little bit of matte gold on the car as well. Kirin Ichiban on the car. Very Nismo, very Japanese. Love it as well. And a Webbo sticker on the side as well. So some great aspects of the livery here for Team Liquid Death. You love to see it. And then Kuros Kai for Team Crude Awakening, the only Crude Awakening car this season in the familiar colour scheme of Shell Motorsports. So a very international brand as well, Shell. But I'm not sure. I think we could have had more appropriate sponsors for the region for Shell, but hey, not complaining. It's a lovely livery. It's very Germanic in its colour approach as well. But there you have it. I don't know, Larry, if Gus is watching, if he's been able to give us a review, but if anyone else has comments or a favourite livery, it's hard to knock this one, isn't it? It is really, really nice. But a lot of effort has definitely got into this one as well. So I can't quite decide between them today. This is probably the second best of the Mayana Sugar Rush liveries, just for my taste today, but it might be in with a shout. I think this could have done with a little bit more work, maybe, but it's all about the choice of colour, really, for me. Whereas this has had a ton of work gone into it. So I may decide that Mayana Milk Chocolate takes it today for my vote anyway. Yeah, let me know if you've got a different opinion as the drivers get ready then to take us through to the final portion of the race. The final, what'll be approaching 17 minutes once they finally hit the start-finish line. Well, the track, the hotel does look slightly blue and then into a pinky purple magenta colour. So maybe I'm being unkind to Polyphony Digital, because most of the time when I see it, it's kind of magenta. Yeah, maybe there's a subtle change of colour. Certainly a waving light effect that cannot be easy to code. So can't take anything away. The attention to detail on this track is insane. So it really is a very, very good looking track design. Blue flags out. That's for the safety car essentially. The game just deciding that the car is holding other drivers up. But he goes into the pit lane. We get ready to go racing for the final portion of the race, and Ozzy has all the work to do again as he leads this race away. Out of the final corner, he chooses when to go, and it's green flag racing here at Abu Dhabi to bring us home to this fourth round of the GT World Challenge. Through we go then with Dad and Son, Astonishing, then followed by Slug, Binkit, RM, K2, Floody. We go to Kuros Kai and then to Saito as they run through. Saito at the back, having made 2 pit stops to most everybody else's 1 pit stop, and then a big battle going on. Dad and Son against Astonishing, who's in an absolute hurry here. Dad and Son with the slightly older medium tyres, Astonishing with the brand new medium tyres, and a lot to fight over on the exit of that hairpin. It's difficult to watch, frankly, as the drivers abuse the exit of these corners to such an extent. The Peugeot is already somewhat snub-nosed. It's going to be even more so if we push the Aston Martin down this straightaway. Will we see an attack coming from the Peugeot? Not quite. The Aston has the legs on that tall and chunky and not very aerodynamic GT4 Peugeot RCZ, or RCZ, sorry, my American friends. Astonishing, following close behind. Let's ride with him then. He's shadowing Roy Mustang here, who had a torrid time at the start of the race, but Roy Mustang eyeing up a podium here, and that is pressure. That is just pressure being applied. The slightly older tyres, but Mustang stuck on the outside now. Holds firm, tries to keep the inside. We've got 3 consecutive right-hand corners, and then we'll go into the lefts. So in down to one of the slowest corners on the track. and then underneath that famous hotel into Latifi corner. This is a bit too close for comfort, but the Peugeot clearly with much better grip on the track at this point. Mustang really struggling to get himself back into the rhythm, following through. Thanks, Zen. Zen says I can say Z if I want to. Yeah, the Canadians fully approve of me saying Z as well. Yeah, I don't know if there's a difference in provinces in Canada as to how they pronounce it. Here we go then, astonishing down the inside into turn 3. That was close. That was pretty dodgy for a moment there, going for a questionable move off track. But here we go, down in towards the hairpin. Will we launch one? And we have to, pretty much, because getting ahead is going to be really important. The Peugeot could have NOS, and it's so ugly I still wouldn't drive it, says Larry. It really is a horrible looking car. I cannot understand it. Who was it was saying some rapper owns an RCC? Oh no, I know who it was. It's your favourite SimRacing content creator, Kirith, owns an RCZ. Anyway, Aussie P1, Dad and Son P2, just about ahead of Slug. We've also got a battle between Slug and K2 Mars here. K2 looking for that inside line and that lane on the inside. That's astonishing, flashing the lights. Roy Mustang holding on the inside. Cuts back to the outside. That is not working, that line for him particularly well here. Astonishing, has the most amazing grip on the inside of the corners. I think everyone's just driving the Peugeot because it's the OP car. I don't think anybody's driving it for its looks at this stage. But I think that that sort of double curve on the roofline is not great. It looks like a 6-year-old trying to draw the Cayman from memory. Oh, it's horrid. It's really, I wouldn't even insult a Cayman to the extent of that. I think that is unkind to Caymans and not my favourite Porsche by any stretch of the imagination. Is that K2 off into the barrier? Oh dear me, he's so close to it there. Hard to say whether he actually made contact from his perspective thanks to the lag. But we've got some great close racing going on here. That's Pinkett just sliding one down the inside of Slug. In the Ferrari, the Peugeot seems to be able to get into the corners really nicely. I don't know if it's suffering anything and it's on its exits. Probably not, but it seems a really strong car overall. Oh, we've just seen possibly the overtake for Astonishing and Dad and Son. Let's go back to it, shall we? As we join him here. He's been shaping this up for a while. That was a dummy, a double bluff move from the Peugeot driver, and Roy Mustang tries a day late and a dollar short to try and get into the corner. The car was already sitting there right on the hairpin apex. Astonishing makes his way through. This is a must-win situation for Astonishing to get back into the championship, into the title fight, I would say. Let me just remind myself here. On the leaderboard, I won't take your view of it away, but yeah, Astonishing currently 3rd in the championship on 38 points, Shiesty 1st on 50 points. So dollars per win, really needs a good payday here in points. No Arcane right now, so Astonishing could bring himself into contention here, no doubt at all. Okay, we've got some current drivers in the chat as well. I need to ask my question again. Why do we have 6 rounds this season and not 7? So it's round 4. We have Watkins Glen and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve still to come. Aussie leads this race by 1.2 seconds. Astonishing in 2nd. And Dad and Son, there goes K2 out wide again. Jim says because 789. Thanks, Jim. Because February is stupid. That's another suggestion from Larry. Yeah, it is a bit of a stupid month for sure. Anyway, Dad and Son in 3rd, K2 in 4th. Although some people would argue it is the most sensible of months because because it fits nicely into 7. It divides nicely into 7, so you get an even number of days in the month, an even number of weeks as well. Anyway, K2 in 4th, Big Hit out in 5th place. Slug slipping back actually at the moment. He's in 6th right now, under threat from RM closing in, and Floody in 8th place on the hunt as well. We've got the yellow lights of the Ferrari 458 with the yellow lights, as has K2 in the Chevy. Jim's saying I got married on Feb 29th. I only had to remember every 4 years, whatever it was. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I pity people who were born on February 29th as well. It's got to be tricky. Slug in P6. Here goes a potential move coming. Floody going by past RM. That was done and dusted very early on. Behind them we've got Saito. Silvia, the Nissan Silvia, having a difficult season and kind of underlining why no one else drives it, unfortunately. But I'm sure the drivers are still loving being in the Nissan and taking photos of it. It's just not necessarily at the front of the races. Anyway, Aussie now 1.4 seconds ahead of Astonishing. Straight fight between these two. Very straightforward strategy for everybody today. The safety car lap was at lap 18, deep into the second half of the race. That meant that the drivers could just about make it to the maximum position on the hard tyres. So that really did make life harder for us to keep things keep things guessing for what was going to happen in the race. We've got Binkett in 4th right now. There's still anything could erupt here in the midfield. We are still fighting over every single point here. Of course, for team honours, Sugar Rush Racing leading the team standings at the moment by a pretty convincing margin out there. They're sort of 8 or 10 points depending on whether you're dropping a score or not ahead of Perfect Pace. Team Jetstream in 3rd, and Legend Motor Racing in 4th, with Liquid Death in 5th, Crude Awakening in 6th, Enzo at the back at the moment, but I think that might be about to change. Vic says Jetstream Pit Wall not happy with K2. Ooh, do tell. Look, I mean, K2 has a really difficult time of it with the internet connection here. I don't know if it's too difficult to be able to continue, but yeah, do tell more about that situation that he took out Dad and Son. Look, I find it difficult to ascribe any blame to K2 with the shocking state that his car looks on track. Remember that as bad as it looks for us watching, it looks that bad for everybody else on track for him. So it really is very difficult. I know there's contact and there's contact. How about this though for the Jetstream racers? While we're talking about them and Vic is making comment, we've got Dad and Son down the inside with the white rims against his teammate RMRS in the orange rims. But I think the setup for Roy Mustang today, the father-son combination, I think his setup is lacking. I think he's really struggling. I think he's trimmed out the downforce, and he just seems to be struggling to hit any apex at all, relative to the other drivers. Talk to me more also about RM. When did he join, and was he was he brought in thanks to Dad and Son, I wonder? Saito completely alone, 12 seconds down, which is a lot after just 7 laps from the safety car period. I know he took a second stop. We've got Kuros Kai as well out in the VW, which has been one of the top cars to race in the last couple seasons here in the GT4 division, but today it's just not happening. It's not happening for Team Crude Awakening, unfortunately. Aussie leads by 1.2 seconds from Astonishing. Very little to separate them in lap time. I'm just checking them out. 205.8 is Astonishing's fastest. 205.8 is Aussie's fastest. We could be setting up for a really cool finish for these two. K2 in 3rd place, Binkett in 4th, Slug in 5th position, just struggling on the tyres now. You can tell coming out of turn 7 and through 8 now they go. It looks like the Astons are basically trying to draft each other up towards contention here, but it's not been going well for Team Jetstream. RM gets ahead between the two of them in that pink Porsche helmet design, the pig, and Floody in 6th place, also in pink today. I don't know if Perfect Pace are going to be changing their livery at all. I know Floody likes a bit of design work, so we'll see. As Slug tries to hold on in the Ferrari for Team Enzo Motorsports, and Floody is doing his level best to stop that and get hold of 5th position. Behind them, the Astons continue their work. Floody with an uncharacteristically plain helmet, it seems at the moment. They're just plain yellow on the helmet for Floody. I don't know if that's a work in progress, maybe. 4 minutes only on the clock now, as Floody has already scratched up the front of that Chevy. Aussie still leading Astonishing, and K2, Binkit ahead of this group, led by Slug for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th positions. Slug defends hard down the inside. Will that cost him on the exit? If they can run side by side through this hairpin. No, we've gone for the switchback, but unfortunately there's an Aston Martin shaped block on the inside line, and a beautiful move from RMRS there. Looked like Floody was going for the switchback for the better run through the corner, but didn't factor in the fact that an Aston would come flying down the inside. So here comes RM. Floody on the outside, giving a tow here, RM, to his teammate, and then cuts across just at a crucial moment for his teammate. Tries to own the track on the inside line against Floody. Hold firm on the outside and you'll get the better run out of the corner. I'm not sure you will off track like that though, Roy Mustang. And it will be very, very level between the two of them here as we continue then side by side down this shorter of the two longest straightaways and heading towards that left-hander. Floody not able to sweep through on the car to the inside line, and then you can see Daddenson just washing out again. He does like a wide entry into 9, no doubt at all in my mind, but you see the rest of the corners and he is struggling to hit those apexes. Aussie still ahead of Astonishing and K2. We'll go check them out in a moment, waiting for anything further to happen between these two, with 2.5 minutes on the clock. So 2 more laps to go as they come on out. We may get one of the tail runners there to finish out the race now as we get into the final few seconds of the penultimate lap. It's the white flag lap then for Aussie, for Astonishing. No, it isn't. They will go 2 more. We may get a penultimate lap for the driver at the back of the grid, Kiros Kai. I'm sure we will. So Aussie leading by now just 9/10 of a second as the gap is shrinking, and he starts, all the doubts start creeping in here for the leader. Astonishing is in a position where he feels he's only got something to gain. Obviously in the title run, he needs to be very aware that he could bin it and chuck it all away. But a great opportunity, some would say an open goal, to gain positions here in the title run. Dirksy, of course, your departing title there. Zen saying 28 laps for most of the field, but not everybody. Thanks for that info. Yeah, exactly. So into the final minute now as they continue down. It's lap 27 for these two. It's just 1.5 tenths between the leaders. Here comes Astonishing to the outside. The Ferrari will have the better run into the next corner. Astonishing needs to maintain patience here and try and possibly surprise Aussie into an unusual place, because Aussie will be well prepared. But a half-second penalty doesn't seem like much, but it is going to hurt him down the straight section out of turn 8 in towards the banked open hairpin of turn 9 on the final lap of the race. We are getting into the final few seconds here of lap 27, but I think it is they will manage to make it to a white flag lap. Here comes Aussie. The clock is running out at 12, 11, 10. They will cross the line, the top three potentially here, maybe even the fourth driver, Binkit. Here we go, and he will, with 3 seconds on the clock, will slug decide to hold up here. That looks slow out, and no, he will have to go for another lap. Daddenson the first to take the checker flag ahead of Floody, with RM will come through as well. Oh, thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Takes the kids to the movies. Hope you all enjoy the movies. Anyway, let's keep in touch. Somehow Aussie's got himself away here from Astonishing before the penalty has taken its toll. K2 though is closing in on Astonishing. This is crazy stuff. I thought that Astonishing was nailed on to take the lead from Aussie, but Aussie's had a great first sector of this final lap of the race. Most of the fighting is done apart from the top three here for this end of this GTD or GT4 series as they get down into the chicane. That's one overtaking position gone, place gone and not available. But now you'll see the yellow chevrons closing in here as Astonishing will duck out of the throttle. K2 should be able to get at least level with the Peugeot on the way through. He goes to the outside and goes clean around Astonishing. That one penalty costing him here the possibility of bidding for the lead of the race. K2 has to hold it together for a fabulous podium, but Aussie looks like he's in a great position as they head into the hotel section at the end of this race, as he gets down onto the brakes in towards that turn 12 right-hander. Then it's the double left under the hotel in towards Latifi corner. 0.8 of a second is the lead of the Enzo Motorsport, who dearly need the points today. Aussie looking fantastic through the right-hander penultimate corner in towards turn 16. It's almost all done and dusted. Hold it firm. Try not to go too wide like K2 does. And Aussie wins ahead of K2 and Astonishing. Great to see all three drivers on the podium finishing together. Binkit there as well for Team Sugar Rush. A great payday for Sugar Rush. Third and fourth position. Slug across the line in fifth. We've already seen the other drivers come through at the rest of the field there, but a really good finish there out for everybody. K Morris says it's going to be an insane finish. It already was. It was great to see. Your provisional results then: Aussie wins ahead of K2 and Astonishing. Binkit, Slug, Daddenson 4th, 5th and 6th, with Floody and RM making his debut with us in 8th place. Saito in 9th, Kiros Kai comes home in 10th, and Chaotica comes home with the safety car ahead of Shiesty, bizarrely enough. Both cars, of course, DNF, but that was the big story then, the leader Shiesty out of the race. The K2 with the fastest lap and the pole position has pace this Brazilian driver, and it's great to see. We just need to pick up the race craft if possible, and of course that internet lag as well. Appreciate everybody for sticking with us right to the end of a strategy heavy race there, and making now one-stop work for nearly everybody in the GT4 field. 2 more races to go. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. This race will probably be via replay, but thank you to everybody who's stuck with us, who has hit a positive button under the video or given a tip today. Big thank you to everybody. Special thanks to Larry and my other members of the channel, including Ghost Stroke, who was here for a little while there as well. And thanks to all of you. We will see you very soon, and we will catch you on the next race day.